Sing your song just for me, Andrushka. Sing it now just for me alone.
It's like super slow pace, but it's like worth getting through. Did I tell you what happened to Joel?
When you guys were hanging out yesterday?
Yeah.
No, you didn't tell me about it.
So we were walking down Ashmond, right?
Yeah.
I can't believe I didn't tell you. So we're walking down Ashmond, and you know the steep curb at the end of Ashmond?
Yeah, I know the one.
Okay, so I figured we took a wrong turn because we walked past it and we were still on Ashmond.
Weird.
Yeah. So we walked down again, and I made sure we turned onto Woodlot, but like, it was Ashmond a third time. Yeah. I was just as weirded out as you are. And so we walked down again, and we must have been pretty distracted because I made it over the curb fine, but Joel, he stepped like right into it.
Oh.
And his ankle twisted bad. And to make it worse, he toppled right over, landed on his wrist, snap.
Oh
The worst sound ever. So, like, he's on the ground crying, and I have no clue what to do, right?
no. What did you do?
So after I came to, I ran over to the nearest house, right? But as I ran, I noticed we weren't on Ashmond anymore. We were on Dowling, where we wanted to be in the first place. But I didn't have much time to think about it, because a guy came to the door. And he was super nice about it. He, like, helped me get Joel onto the curb, and he called an ambulance and everything.
Why didn't you tell me about this right away?
Well, I didn't see you until now. So he called an ambulance, and like after 5 minutes, like Joel is like crying, by the way. I felt so bad because he's like just tears streaming down his face. I was terrified. So ambulance came along, and I was sure it was broken, but they like twisted his wrist around and checked for like swelling or breaks or whatever, and they told him he was fine, and we went home.
You just left?
Yeah. We didn't know what else to do. I mean, it still hurt a lot. We put ice on it, but yeah, we just left.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah, it was.
Do you know what happened to that neighbor you asked for help?
I don't know. Good question.
Do you think you're gonna go see him again before you leave?
Don't know.
Hey, what's that?
What?
Don't you see it?
Oh yeah, what is that?
I don't know. Go check it out.
What, in the water? It's just a glass.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sorry for making you go out there.
No, it's all right. It was worth it.
Just a glass, huh?
Yeah, just a glass. My pants got kind of wet. I kind of want to change. Do you want to go back to mine?
Yeah, sure. I'm feeling pretty thirsty anyways.
All right, let's go.
When I ask Mom if she's happy in her nursing home, she always says that she is, and of course she kind of laughs a little bit. But I don't know sometimes if she's just saying that. A lot of the time she doesn't really want us to worry, so she always tries to say that she's always okay. But sometimes I wonder if she is. Mom didn't talk to me very much about Dad's passing. Again, she's not the kind of person who really talks about her feelings very much. I think that's just the way my parents were. I can't explain it. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I've never asked them. I don't know if they had a lot of time to be happy all the time because they worked a lot. I feel gratitude. I feel grateful that, you know, they are the people that they are, that they think of each other and family first, and they wanted to make a better living for their children and give them more opportunities. So I feel grateful that they made the decisions to come to Canada and to keep the family together and to, you know, give us the best that they could. I knew my parents. I knew my parents well. I don't think I know about their past. So growing up, of course, I spent a lot of time with them. So I knew the present. I knew the present time and the times that we were together. I can imagine that it was very hard for them. Dad was the 11th child. And so, of course, in China in those days, you took care of yourself. And they also grew up during the war. And so there was a lot of poverty. And that's probably why they didn't talk very much about their childhood. My house growing up, it was an older house. I don't know what year it was built, but it didn't have a lot of renovations, so it did need some work. Dad was never taught how to fix a house. He just kind of did it and tried to figure things out. So he was actually pretty smart. If I could speak very fluent Chinese, you know, I would want to tell them about the world and the things that I see. I think my parents know me as a person. You know, we didn't talk a lot because of the language barrier, but I think me and my parents are very close. And I remember growing up as a child, you know, I'd put my head on Mom's shoulder and, you know, just being content. We don't have to have a lot of conversations. We don't have to have a lot of deep conversations. We just enjoyed being with each other.
Dear John Tory, my name is Avery Watson, and I skateboard, though I'm not as good as my friends, so I just film them. Skateboarding itself is important, and a reason might be that skateboarding improves mental health, and there have been multiple studies proving that it builds confidence and can be used as a coping mechanism. Not only does skateboarding improve your mental health, but it also improves social skills and diversifies and strengthens the community. The skateboarding community is usually supportive and friendly and helps people build confidence. Skateboarding in Toronto does kind of suck because there's no skate parks. It's actually a bigger problem than you think. The first reason might be how skateboarders not having a skate park affects the structures of Toronto. When skateboarders are unable to skateboard in a skate park, they turn to street skating, and the result of street skating is banged up curbs and destruction of public property. If the skaters get their skate parks, it will minimize the street skating, therefore minimizing the public property damage, and it will give them better rails, ramps, and even bowls. The pandemic has been affecting the number of skateboarders, so as the number of skateboarders grow, the impact will as well. The skateboarding community is growing exponentially because the pandemic is limiting the number of sports that people can participate in. The extreme growth of the skateboarding community will permanently affect the popularity of the sport, therefore making it vital that skateboarders have an outlet. There are multiple unused or unsafe lots that could benefit from a skate park. It would benefit the neighborhood by using Jane Jacobs' Eyes on the Street philosophy. Jane Jacobs believed that if you keep unsafe areas moving and populate the street, it will act as a security to discourage sketchy behavior. A skate park will surely help the neighborhoods by populating the area. There are many reasons why skate parks could benefit Toronto. They vary from improving mental health, to improving unsafe neighborhoods, to limiting public property damage. Overall, there's really no reason for us not to have skate parks in Toronto.
A genuine smile is the most precious gift a person can give. She saw the value of smiles and held every one close in her heart. She sought to surround herself with representations of happiness and delighted in a home that produced those feelings. Her warmth shone through every time she laughed, every time she danced. The smiles all around her reflected her own. Seeing that she was tied to this symbol of pure joy led to the two becoming woven together in the mind, inseparable. Being surrounded by these images in such formative years, like having a warm blanket around shoulders that soaked into skin until the warmth was a part of one's being and the blanket was no longer needed. Now it seeps outwards and recreates itself in new forms, ones that, although not from her, still carry her essence. It runs so deep it appears in unconscious habits, habits to be cherished and held tight so that they might not be lost one day. Smiles should be celebrated and spread. She knew there could never be too many.
My first love really is classical music, and I remember as a child hearing classical music, being so amazed that someone could play an instrument so perfectly, and then feeling that urge to move my body to that music. I first started dancing when we lived in Elliott Lake. I was actually a figure skater before I was a dancer. There was a dance studio upstairs at the skating arena, and one day my mom said that there were some ballet classes happening. So I remember going, I remember approaching the bar and just wanting to put my leg up on it. And I don't know what it was, but the moment I was in that studio and put my leg up on that bar, that was it. I was like, this is what I want to do. For me personally, dance was a way to express myself without having to use words. I was a very quiet and shy child, and although I loved writing, I really felt like I needed a physicality, a way to express myself with my body. And dance education really gave me that language that I feel I needed to become the person I was going to be. There are many joys, but they're really a side product of all that hard work. Ballet is an extremely demanding art form. It takes its toll on your joints and your entire body, and it is something that you need to practice daily and for many hours to be able to do it well. I always say to my dancers now, it's like so much of ballet is repetition, 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 repetition. So if you are mentally strong and you can do that work, then you can see the progress. So I auditioned for Swan Lake, and it was a 4 to 5 month contract, and that tour was taking us over to Hong Kong and to Australia. So when I landed that gig, it was probably one of the greatest moments of my life. There were moments where I was in Swan Lake, and it's like the music and the dancer just become one. And that is like, it's magic. It's like you can feel it in every vein, and then your feet don't hurt and your body doesn't hurt, and you're just in the moment. So that for me really is the joy.
Well, I dreamed I saw the knights in armor come and saying something about a queen. There were peasants singing and drummers drumming. The archers split the tree.
Jesus Christ! He scared me. Come on. This is for smothering you. Sorry, I know it stings a little. Well, this is for the lies. This is for acting like I knew better. Well, this is telling you how to feel. This is for judging what I didn't understand.
This is for dragging your heart around.
What are you doing here?
Closure. It's easier in a place like this.
All in a dream, all in a dream, the loading had begun. Flying Mother Nature's silver seed to a new home in the sun. Flying Mother Nature's silver seed to a new home.
Hi, I'm Jack, and I've been in online schooling for too long. And I think there's something wrong with it, I just can't place my finger on it. So let's go talk to the people in the know and figure out what makes online schooling a bit of a mess.
The pros of online schooling would be that I'm not going to get COVID-19, like it's confirmed that I'm not going to get it, even like because I'm not going in. And then the cons would probably be that I can't see any of my friends like in real life. I think the main things that I'm missing from in-person school is being able to see my friends, because I think that's a very critical part of school, which makes it, I think, more fun.
I've missed in grade 2 seeing all my friends. So the difference about normal school and playing, I get to see my friends more often at school.
Would you continue online schooling next year? Like, would you want to?
No, not really, because sometimes it hurts my eyes and I can't sit for that long.
I would say one of the pros of teaching online is that I can be in the comfort of my own home. And when I take breaks during the day, I can get other things done around the house. So it's a better work-life balance. However, at night, I end up often having to do extra hours quite late at night because everything online is new. And so I'm preparing content for my classes and everything is created, so I can't use anything really that I've used before. I would say another big drawback or con is that students don't have the supplies. Some students that I teach don't even have paper to write on. And then I would say the last sort of drawback that I can think of, or con, is that students come from different homes, and so some students work in very quiet environments where they have very supportive families, and other students have situations where there's a lot of noise. It's very hard for them to concentrate. They don't have anywhere private that they can go where they can actually get their work done. And some of them are even taking care of younger siblings at the same time as they're trying to get work done. Yeah, my preference is to teach in person. You can just do so much more with your students, and there's so much more range of opportunity to teach in an interesting way and engage students. And I'm really tired of looking at screens every day.
Well, after talking to many people experienced in the field and laying out the facts, I think online school is not a great long-term solution. I'm looking at you, Doug. And with the government's, the provincial government's new plans to instate online school as a permanent part of schooling, I think it should be reevaluated for sure.
There are around 370 million people in North America. Let's assume the average North American buys 5 t-shirts a year. That's 1.85 billion shirts. Have you ever wondered what that may entail? Many of these shirts come from one of these companies. Although these companies all sell their clothes in North America, they're actually all mainly manufactured in one of these countries. Take Bangladesh for instance. In Bangladesh, a garment worker makes around 13 cents an hour. 13. That's around $1.80 per day, $54 a month. This amount of money doesn't even come close to covering the monthly rent for a 1-bedroom apartment. And it doesn't stop there. Garment factories have incredibly unreasonable hours. A worker is expected to labor at least 14 to 16 hours a day, often more. Next to the wages and hours, the working conditions are horrendous. Remember April 24th, 2013. Rana Plaza, a building in Bangladesh housing a bank, a few stores, and several garment factories collapsed. This didn't come unexpected. The day before the building caved in, large cracks had been discovered. The lower floors all evacuated their employees, but the owners of the garment factories refused to close and ordered the laborers to come back the next day. That day left 2,500 people injured and 1,100 dead. The Rana Plaza incident brought a lot of attention to the issue, but nothing has been done about it. Most garment factories still do not provide even the most basic workplace safety. Often the buildings are structurally unsafe and have no ventilation, which exposes the workers to toxic substances. The short and long-term effects on the workers' health is extremely hazardous. Even if we choose to ignore the horrible things people who work in garment factories have to endure, the fast fashion industry has created a threat to the environment that will affect each and every one of us. The environmental problems with the production of fast fashion start with extensive carbon emissions and their greenhouse effect that leads to global warming, not to mention the waste and pollution of water. Most of the time, the water that is being used in the process of manufacturing the clothes is neither clean nor reused. The production of clothing is very water intensive, and the polluted water is sent back into our already fragile environment. Still doesn't stop there. Once the clothes have been made, they need to be shipped, which again causes an insane amount of water and air pollution. Then they're sold, handed to the customer in a plastic bag, or shipped to the customer for convenience, causing further pollution to air, land, rivers, lakes, and oceans. Once the clothes have been sold, it continues. The average American throws away around 37 kilograms of clothes each year. Let's just have a look at a few numbers to illustrate the problem. During production, the fashion industry uses 1.5 trillion tons of water per year. Overall, it is responsible for 10% of the carbon emissions. Every year, 13 million tons of textile waste is produced worldwide. We all need clothing. Clothes protect us from the cold, heat, and rain. What needs to change are the conditions under which our clothes are produced, the threat to the environment that a purely profit-oriented industry causes, and the fact that people who struggle to buy one piece of clothing pay the price for us wearing a new t-shirt every week.
Hey Micah, I'm writing to you from our public library branch. You'll be glad to hear I'm listening to our favorite rain ambience with the headphones they have here. The first time I've heard it in a while. It almost makes me feel like when we used to be me and not us. Anyway, I need to come back for more money. I know I said I'd leave, but I really don't know what to do. The cash has all run out and it's only been a few weeks. We were never amazing at functioning in the real world. Also, I just took the last of those pills you gave me in order to avoid splitting while writing this email, so I need you to give me some more. I'll try to keep calm, but we were never amazing at that either. I'm coming back tonight. I'll wait by the back door at 11:30. You'd better come. I think you will, but I'm not sure, so to give you more incentive, I remind you that I have all of the passwords, secrets, and account information, and I could ruin your life very easily, or at least make it very awkward. It's not really my life anymore. I bet you never thought you'd get blackmailed by your own self. Sorry. You're probably thinking I'm bluffing, because you'd never do that to somebody, let alone yourself. I invite you to remember that, though we are the same person, being hunted across the city by murderous split elimination personnel might have just done something to my psyche. Kind regards, Micah. No! Oh no, not again. You know what? I'm gonna do what I should have done with the first one of you that showed up at my door. I am going to turn you in. They are going to come here and they're gonna take you away. No, please don't do that, Mike. I can just leave. I can just go, and you'll never have to see me again. We can just do that. I can just go.
Тато мав чорну торбу, був високий, мав сорочку в кліточку і говорив з дуже сильним акцентом. Я зустріла тата в серпні 1998 року в Україні. Я не було, може, дуже серйозно тоді, ще трохи дитяче.
Як довго ти знала тата, before він хотів тебе брати back to Canada?
3 роки.
Що ти думала, коли він перше сказав, come to Canada зі мною?
О, я дуже вагалася, я не була певна, що я хочу туди поїхати. Бо я не знала, що це за країна, я не знала англійської мови, я не знала тут нікого. І його я добре не знала. Але якось так сталося, що я все-таки наважилась поїхати, подивитися.
What about, Baba? What did she think of it? Коли ти сказала їй, що надо?
Мої батьки не були проти, тому що вони хотіли мені кращого життя, яке вони не могли мені запропонувати в Україні. Вони бачили, що я не можу там знайти якусь дуже добру роботу, чи заробити собі на житло, чи когось зустріти там.
If я була, move to друга країна, я тобі сказала за пару років, I'm moving to this country, and I can get a job, and I can meet somebody or something. Як би ти react to that?
Well, I would be sad, тому що you're my only child, and my mother still have my brother, because my mom has 2 children
Yeah,
and I have
that's
only
nice.
1. I would be sad, especially if it's very far.
Yeah, like across the ocean.
Yeah. But Mom, I think she's used to that I live very far. That she has my brother.
Yeah.
And I would be sad, but no. And the child becomes an adult. It's a different story. You have to say yes to the decisions.
Mm-hmm.
Ти записувала то?
Yes.
Молодець.
I was gone with the self of the day, gone with the self of the day, gone with the self of the day, gone, 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 gone. I was gone. I'm back where I belong. Silver gets out on the morning dawn. With the bass in on my head, I'm missing all that I had to know. Now I get the kids to go and I get up on myself and dread. And when I see the kissing down, although each you not to get right. I was gone with the self of the day, gone with the self of the day. Yeah, I get myself on right, self of the day, gone, 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 gone. I was gone. I get a job for where I belong. I take my kills and I kill them all. Then I'll take my the treats alone. And gone with the self of the day, gone with the self of the day.
So, why did I decide to do my documentary on COVID-19 and youth mental health? Well, to be honest, it's affected me personally. I've always been an anxious person, though it seems that since COVID-19 hit, it's gotten worse.
I would say that probably the most common challenges that I'm seeing are low mood, low motivation, kids struggling to engage in their schoolwork or get involved in social opportunities that are a little bit outside of what they're normally used to, you know, like maybe group virtual things.
Can you describe your COVID-19 experience in one word?
Pathetic. Draining.
Difficult. I try hard to try to be like a glass half full person, and I really believe in the strength of our ability to be resilient. So when I think this is over and behind us, I think that we're going to have a very strong bounce back. I think people will gravitate towards each other and will want to spend more time together, and will just go back to things that are really important and that they feel they've really missed, and it's been that's made life challenging for them. So I do believe in that. As a mental health specialist, I think there has been a tremendous spotlight put on the importance of recognizing and paying attention to our mental health.
So, we're in the third wave of COVID-19. Another lockdown. I've got the therapist, the social worker, the psychiatrist, even the meds. So, what's next? What's my one word to describe my COVID-19 experience? Lonely.
Hi, my name is Lily Kerr, and I will be discussing the history of buffalo wings today. I'm really excited. I'm also a bit scared because I've been told that these wings are like really, really spicy. Especially, what are they called? Like the really spicy ones? Voodoo Inferno. I am like terrified. Thank you. Okay. I'm gonna have sauce like all over my face, just so like everyone's clear. These are really good. This is like a manageable level of spice. Now let's talk about the history of buffalo wings. Buffalo wings were invented in 1964 by a woman named Teresa Bellissimo. Late one night, Teresa's son Dominic came home to his family's bar, the Anchor Bar, with some buddies and asked his mom for a late night snack. Teresa had an abundance of chicken wings as there had been a mistake in the order. Instead of getting chicken necks that she could use in her famous spaghetti sauce, she got useless chicken wings. The next level of wings. A bit like the burn is like a bit more in the front of my mouth. The last one was like sweeter, and this one's got like a burn. This is a burn definitely, but I think definitely good. I still think I'll be okay with this one. Back to the history. Okay, this is kind of spicy now. Okay. At the time in the 1960s, chicken wings were considered the most useless part of the chicken and were often sold for pennies to poor families to make soup with them. Unfortunately, for Teresa, there were far too many wings to make soup. There would be too much soup and they wouldn't be able to sell it all. So when Dominic came home asking for a snack, Teresa cut the wings in half to make drumsticks and flats, deep fried the wings, and tossed them in the bar's hot sauce. The men enjoyed the wings so much that they became a permanent part of the menu. Okay, so I've been told that I'm getting my last batch of wings. Very excited. Ooh, okay. So, these smell really good. They smell like, it's like chunky. The sauce has like flakes of stuff, and I'm being given milk as well, which I'm like, which I'm thankful for, but I'm also concerned that I'm gonna need this. This is the last level. I can handle this. I handled the first 2 rounds like a pro. So this time I should be completely fine. Okay, let's go. Okay, it's not that bad right now. Okay. Okay. Oh, it like burns like really bad in the back of your throat. Oh, it hurts. Okay, another bite. Okay, the first like bites, like it takes like a few seconds to kick in the back of your throat. Ooh. Okay. Let's get back to the history of wings. Within a week, the people of Buffalo flocked to the Anchor Bar to try their buffalo wings. Soon, other restaurants in the area began popping up with their own versions of the wings. It was around this time that the man who sold hot sauce to the bar, Dick Winger. Are you serious? Is that actually his name? Are you serious? That's his name? Dick Winger teamed up with Dominic Bellissimo and traveled across the country to share with other restaurants the power of buffalo wings. Okay, I need milk. Okay. That's really hot. In 1997, the city of Buffalo declared July 29th as Chicken Wing Day and credited Frank Bellissimo as the inventor of chicken wings. In a 1980 New Yorker article, Calvin Trillin said, "The city of Buffalo's proclamation would have been more exact if it had named the inventor as Teresa Bellissimo." Honestly, it is like very sexist that they credited, who the hell was it? Frank Bellissimo? Like that was probably the husband, but it was Teresa, and Teresa deserves full credit for that, but everyone is sexist. Next International Women's Day, make sure to include the inventor of one of the food staples of Western society. Whew. Yeah, I would like to say a few things. Goodbye. Get wings. Go right now. Leave your house. Get wings. They're delicious. Cheers. Peace out. And bye, Lily Kim. Yeah, Lily Kim. This is like the... I don't know how cameras work.
Dogs. Man's best friend. Throughout history, we've been joined at the hip with these canine companions. But the question remains, what is the best dog breed? Is it the noble husky, who braved the cold winds of the north? Or is it the sheepdog, who've been helping maintain our agricultural practices for generations? Or is it the St. Bernard, who is famous for their search and rescue capabilities? Well, I'm here to say it's none of them. For the dog breed that tops them all is none other than the pug. No, just a little lower. Ah, there he is. If we want to truly learn about this majestic breed, we have to first explore their origins. The breed was first documented in ancient China, around the time of the Han Dynasty. They are bred to be lapdogs for the emperors of China and enjoyed lives of luxury and wealth. It is most likely because of this that they developed a very lazy tendency, a trait which has not left them to this day. It wasn't until China started trading with Europe in the early 16th century that pugs started their worldwide conquest of cuteness. After reaching Europe, they began to integrate themselves into high society. A quote by famous author Hester Piozzi shows just how common pugs became in Europe.
The little pug dog or Dutch Mastiff has quitted London for Padua, I perceive. Every carriage I meet here has a pug in it.
Now that we know how pugs sunk their little teeth into our society, let's explore some of the best examples of their genetic superiority. Starting off with Pompey. Pompey was the dog of William the Silent, who was the Prince of Orange in the mid-16th century. What makes Pompey special is that he might have just been the first canine Secret Service agent. Get down! One night, assassins snuck into the prince's room. With the prince being fast asleep, it was up to Pompey to save the day. He quickly started barking and scratching at his master, a skill pugs possess, to this day. He successfully woke the prince in time and saved the day. I'd like to see a poodle do that. Look at those eyes. He'd let you die. The next pug that made their paw mark on history might just be the 007 of the canine world. Let me introduce you to Fortune. Fortune was the dog of Empress Josephine Bonaparte. Before being married to Napoleon, she was incarcerated for some time. Her family, being unable to visit her, she had to find a workaround. Whenever they would bring Fortune to visit her, she would hide secret messages to her family in his collar, thus marking Fortune as the world's first spy pug. Going forward to the 1990s, let's look at the A-list celebrity who starred in the Men in Black movies. I am, of course, talking about Mushu the Pug. Mushu was a trained dog used to film the character Frank the Pug in the Men in Black series. According to the owner, Mushu was accustomed to a very luxurious lifestyle. He would only drink bottled water. He would only eat cooked steak and chicken, and he would always fly business class with his owner. It's safe to say Mushu was a modern-day diva in the pug world. Hopefully now you've gained a deeper understanding into the fascinating history of these little creatures, from preventing royal assassinations to espionage and to being a certified pug Madonna. Pug Madonna, that's a good one. I hope now it's clear to all of you that pugs are, without a doubt, the best dog breed, and if you think otherwise, you're wrong. As one last piece of information, a group of pugs is called a grumble. I will now leave you with some videos of a grumble of pugs.
Lips.
I guess I'll see you around.
Jermaine Clement's lips.
Looking round the room, I can tell that you are the most beautiful girl in the room. In the whole wide room. When you're on the street, depending on the street, I bet that you're definitely in the top 3 good-looking girls on the street. Depending on the street, 'cause you're so beautiful, like a dream or high-class prostitute. No, you're so beautiful. You could be a part-time model, but you probably still have to keep your normal job. Part-time, spending part of your time modeling, part of your time next to me.
Yeah, I know, technically speaking, you aren't really a girl, but I just thought it was appropriate, considering it was written by the person whose lips you are, I guess. We don't have to get into it, but yeah. You're welcome, I guess.
Hey, I just wanted to say, I've had a really good time with you over the last 2 minutes, and
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now am found. Was blind, but now I see. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch.
And that's it for our show.
The popcorn fart. Because there was, and I've got the box in it, there was 30% salt in it.
Don't slam the door. Oh, it's due for its 10,000 slam checkup. Was it boiling hot or freezing cold? Don't S your S.
Yep.
But the last certain memory I have is that call on April 7th, or it was 8th, 1974, when he called me to talk about Hank Aaron and setting Babe Ruth's record.
On 7-14. Here's the pitch by Downing. Swinging. There's a drive into left center field. That ball is going to be out of here. It's gone.
Do you remember anything specifically about the car ride back home from your camp?
I remember that they had the radio on. I remember Rock the Boat was playing by Hughes Corporation. I remember the Midnight Train to Georgia by Gladys and the Pips was playing. That's all I remember.
And what I remember is that morning, the head of the section said to me, you have to go home, your dad's sick. And then I thought I heard him say he died, like under his breath. And I said, what?
I remember I was kind of excited because I really hated camp. So I was happy to be leaving, but I was also unsure why I was being driven back.
I remember crying, and I remember going into the backyard. I remember being very, very hot. And for some reason, I remember there was music playing, and I remember listening to that music in the backyard. Don't remember where the music came from, though.
How did you come across the MyHeritage animation app?
I was just looking at Twitter, and I saw that some people were posting pictures. At first I didn't know what it was, and then I saw a few more that I thought they were interesting, so I clicked on the link, and then I realized it was an app that allowed you to animate old pictures.
At first I thought it was pretty amazing that he was doing these things that made him look like he was alive.
Pretty overwhelming, I guess. We hardly have any pictures, right? Because he died in 1974, so there's no cell phones, and home movies and videos were not common. So seeing something actually moving, which indicated the way he might have actually looked, was sort of awesome, actually.
It's definitely a healthy thing to do if it makes sense or feels right for the person. I think some people might experience it as really comforting and heartwarming, and other people may have different reactions to it.
If you could say anything or tell your father anything at the moment, do you know what you would say?
To say thank you for giving me a life and giving me a good 9 years while you were alive.
The only girl I care about is gone away, looking for a brand new start.
we've found that the sexualization of girls in society overall and on social media really has an impact on their mood, on their school performance, on the relationship with themselves, their self-esteem, and it could possibly lead to, depression, anxiety, suicide. We all know that people who are sexually attractive get more likes and follows. So a girl who stands with her arms at her sides, giving the big old smile with all the teeth, she learns quickly that when she does the sexier pose with the pouty face, that she gets a lot more likes and follows than somebody who does the former pose. So, girls learn pretty quickly what gets them to fit in and what gets them, feeling good about themselves. And in the short term, it feels good to get all those likes, but in the long term, it ends up affecting their self-esteem.
Hi, I'm Lily Davies. I'm 20 years old, the big 20. I've had Instagram for 9 years now. I definitely used to post for attention, and I also don't think there's anything wrong with that. Attention feels good.
I think it's great to see that more young girls are getting more confident in their bodies on social media.
I definitely have a different relationship with Instagram than I do with apps like TikTok, where I feel like it's much more competitive, and I'm looking at my videos in comparison to other girls the same age as me or who look like me, and I'm why can't I be like them? So I feel like it really depends on the app. TikTok has really quickly taken over the internet, and although their age limit is 13, they should have an AI sensor in the app that detects overly sexual videos of minors, especially if they can see the demographic of those engaging with the videos are men over 30. If you're very young, if you're 13, you don't really understand the depths to which your video may go on the internet. Obviously there's this whole landscape of the dark web where they just take videos of young girls and kind of just monopolize that. And so yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with it, but I think we need to have better education that kind of puts girls in the right direction in terms of posting those kinds of things.
When girls post on social media, is it intended to be sexualized or more intended to be a boost of confidence? I totally think that it's fully intended to be confidence boosting. However, the intention is to be slightly sexualized. Fair. But I think on a general standpoint, I would say definitely no. But in modern media, you kind of see all these models and they are being sexualized.
I think it really depends, honestly. If your whole account is pictures of you in inappropriate clothing and stuff that could be interpreted as inappropriate, then I would say it is being sexualized.
And I think that kind of letting girls kind of take back control of their bodies, even on social media, is going to be a really great step when we get to that point.
I think being sexual is a way to embrace your body, and it takes back the way women's bodies have been sexualized. If we say, hey, look at me, I look great and I feel good like this, and the image looks like something that would be in a magazine that objectifies women, it's we're taking that back, and it is a way to embrace our bodies. But I also see posts that I know are just overly sexual to get views or engagement or followers. But I also see revealing pictures that I can tell are just the girls being damn, I look really good, here you go. So I feel the outside world sexualizes us. I feel it all just comes down to how we look at ourselves in the mirror and whether or not we are embracing our bodies.
My thoughts on, safety of young girls on social media with kind of child predators and people who you don't necessarily want looking at your stuff. I think, yeah, I have honest, real safety concerns for that.
I feel most of the comments that I get are super sweet. When I was 16, 17, I definitely remember I had a lot more weirdos on my page, old guys who would say really gross stuff I need to have you, or how much for an hour, things like that.
They don't teach you this stuff in school, that this is what you should be wary about when you're on social media.
You should always have a private account. I think that's the most important thing.
There are sexual predators, but I don't know how to spot one.
And if you don't know something, talk to your parents, because they'll be no, don't do that.
Put some clothes on, I don't know.
I would say no matter what, post what makes you happy. Do not post for others. Post what makes you feel the best, the most confident, the most sexy.
When I have to leave you behind, what do you think's gonna happen? Can you promise me that you'll defend yourself when I'm not here?
It's so beautiful being able to sneak out at night. Being able to go wherever you need to go. That's what's kept me going.
And it'll continue to keep me going long after I'm gone.
But what if I don't want you to leave? I don't want this to end.
I have no control over this. None of us have any control over anything.
Then why bother?
Control over anything except ourselves. So don't waste it.
Nothing makes any sense. I feel like I'm so young yet I can barely keep up with everything around me. It's scary to talk to you right now, to anyone. I've lost so many people. I'm gonna lose you.
Well, right now I'm here. I haven't gone anywhere. When we're not living together, and are stuck far away at the opposite corners of God knows where, and I need you, and you need me, find me here.
I love you. You're supposed to die on that night. Everything from her life had been leading to that moment. It had never failed to devour a child. Until you. You live on, in conscience, a form in which he has no power against you.
Leveling the playing field.
For Luke.
For Jonathan.
Create your own ending.
Create your own ending.
Follow my voice. Defeat it once and for all.
There's no one to return to after this. Not anymore. Everyone's gone.
Fight for yourself.